I've been so scared for the past few days with all that's going on around the world, rioting. I this is a stressful times. As I was driving to my new assignment, and being a travel nurse, we get to go different places. Sometimes we go into town that I don't see any familiar face. And for the last few days, as I was driving to these little towns, as a matter of fact, the assignment where I am, I feel so scared. And it didn't dawn on me until the other day when I was just pulling my shift is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. And I said, everybody's rioting and everything. And I was so scared because, the cop pulled up behind me. And I was driving like from the job. I'm like maybe 45 to 50 minutes away to the hotel. And he was just driving half of the way behind me. And I was thinking flashback about George Floyd, even though the situation with Mr. Floyd is what we know by the TV and what my eyes see. And I remember the day when I was going to Macon Hospital. I had just gotten to Georgia and I was going up there to Macon Hospital. I guess that's up there where I had to pass Forsyth County. And halfway, I didn't even reach to the hospital because I didn't know where I was going. And GPS at that time was taking you all around. And a cop pulled behind me and he just kept making me nervous because he was behind me up until I entered the hospital. That's like Atlanta. You do the math. It's not close. Atlanta to Macon Medical Center is not that close. And I had just gotten out of Atlanta, not even in Macon yet, in some of the towns that I didn't know of at the time. Still don't, because I don't branch off. And the cop did not give up. He was driving the whole time till I get into the hospital. He said, oh, maybe she's going for a job. I was scared. I was scared because, first of all, it didn't. My license plate didn't say Georgia. My license plate say Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I never encountered that. Police driving behind me forever. If they check my tags, if it's expired, they pull you over. But not driving, literally driving hours, I would say, until I pull into the parking lot, Macon Medical Center. Got upstairs, and I saw all these nurses. I did see some African American, but they were like, I would say, mental health techs. And you know how this is the second time it happened to me in Georgia, or in an interview, and it was all Caucasian nurses, and because they did, I guess they allowed their peers to come in and interview you. And the type of question, I don't remember all the question, but the type of question they asked me, I knew in my gut, I'm not going to get that job. And I didn't. I don't know why, because they don't tell you. But just by the cops, literally, I forgot the word I want to use, that they just profiling, think that came in to their town for trouble and just kept, I would say, I felt kind of violated, but so it happened everywhere. I'm so glad I'm alive and I'm here to share this with you. Another incident, I went to another hospital and I was interviewing, and when I see that there's not a cultural diverse, I know I won't get that job. And if I do get that job, it's not going to be the position that I want, or I won't be lasting there any longer. So these are things that we face. I noticed when I saw that the police officer kneeling in George Floyd, I think chest, neck area, flashback. I think about CPI, de-escalation, and it's not about the thing about CPI or handle with care. It's not about trying to restrain. Hospital don't want to restrain anymore. It's about talking them down, getting them into a calm state that they could feel comfortable communicate. Because when you upset and you're angry, you're hyped up. And when you're hyped up, the person in front of you who's supposed to be the professional is hyped up, then it becomes something drastic like what we're seeing. Celebrities are speaking up. It's a good thing, I guess. Madonna son is dancing for joy. Some people say it's good. Some people, I don't know. I'm going to let my opinion stay where it is. Why not speak out yourself? Why, to me, like I said, let me stop here. Even Gail. And the big O. Killer Mike did a good speech. But the thing about it is, these riots, I'm not sure, because what I'm seeing is what the media is showing me. And when I see, and I don't want to all talk about all the negative, I like the fact that Atlanta mayor and all the profile elites speak up, and the average Joe speaking up in their own little way, using their YouTube channel, use their voice, getting back to basic. But I'm saying, I don't know. I kind of see that nursing and police officer is in sometime get overzealous. Like I'm working with a nurse right now. Like I said, the town is not very familiar. I don't see any familiar faces. And so I haven't leave this room. Like I said, I'm about to change that shift 9 to 9. I don't want to be on the street that late. When I went to Walmart and everybody just looking at me. It was so obvious. Just looking. And I got scared. Yes, I got scared. Because, being a black person, you kind of can feel it in your gut. And I didn't go in that Walmart. It was one of those little Walmart. It wasn't the super center. So I Googled, and about 30 minutes, I went to the super Walmart. Same thing. I'm like, what? that was in the morning time, and I hurry up and got out of there and came back to my hotel. And a couple friends came in with me, and I called them and they said, "What you doing?" Because they're not in my hotel, so I'm even at loss. I'm in here by myself with other nurses, but they're, you know. And I said, "What are you doing?" They say, "Oh, we're gonna stay in our room because I don't trust. It's a lot. We're not trusting." When they were looking at me and I wanted to ask somebody, "Where do you find the bread?" I was so scared. I just went around my business, looked for what I want, and get out of there. I don't want to live like that. I don't want to live in fear. I want to be able to go where I want. I want to be able to do what I want as an adult. Do what I want. Before I start this video, don't forget to hit the bell, subscribe, comment, share. Talk about some issues that's going on. We've been feeling it all around the globe. People are noticing. I don't know if it's had anything to do with what's going on, the crisis or anything, but I'm pretty sure you're aware. So I came to the decision to come out, and I thought about better. Hire a nurse to train the police. Because, as a psych nurse, mental health nurse, I don't see it a lot because I'm inpatient. But when I work in the ER, they have a section in the ER for psych nurse, mental health nurses, mental health techs. They have social worker there. So when the patient comes in and they're in distress, they may send them over to the psych nurse, and we hold maybe 1 or 2, 3 beds, and we hold those beds in the ER for those types of patient. I'm not sure if anyone know, but if you ever work in psych, it can be, if you're not trained, you go through CPI, you go to man training, handle with care. We how to de-escalate situations, because I don't know if, and I read something that in the academy, police academy, they are trained mental health workers, or I don't know if it's mental health workers, if it's a nurse, or they're training them how to deal with people. For psych patient, I'll give you a situation. They want what they want, and rather than creating it so it escalate into something bigger, you might have to speak calmer. You don't need to be agitating the situation. And how you agitate it, you may say the wrong word. So the training that we go through as a psych nurse, I think will help a lot. Because when you're tired, and I'm pretty sure those cops are overworked. I'm pretty sure they have similar schedule like us. They're short staff. And when you're tired, because I'm talking personally myself, when I'm tired, you tend to be a little aggravated easily. Anything set me off. Not that I'm trying to excuse the behavior. I'm just saying these are situations that could escalate into something bigger. And today, I'm saying is, I think they should hire some nurses. Some nurses, or it might not be in the budget. Hire some CPI. Let them take CPI training. De-escalation. Second, you work around it. You just got to do what you have to do. I said that I'm saying this so when we put a patient in seclusion room and we restrain them because they're a danger to themselves and dangerous to others. Some of them may be spitting. You can't just put the thing all over their face and say, yeah, stop spitting, and choke them, and before you know it, there's an incident. There's a way to do everything. And I didn't know it until I got into psych and they trained me. We have to be certified how to de-escalate. Now, when I go on travel assignment, like the one I am on now, they said to me, this is what the facility say. Since you were not trained in our technique to de-escalate, let our staff doing it. Fine. Their staff are certified. We came in as a guest to help them out. I'll do anything else, but if there's a problem where they have to restrain, then they prefer their staff to do it because they know, the way, until they train us. I remember some of the patient, when we trying to restrain them, they may say, oh, it's too tight. You have to use your judgment too, because if it's too loose, the hands will get out and then bop, bop, and then you fighting and they're struggling. And sometimes with kids, they're slippery. Kids are slippery. They'll get out of anything. So when we're restraining them, you put your finger in, 2 fingers in, to make sure there's room enough for 2 fingers. They're okay. You can't do it any tighter. You can't, when we're holding them down on the floor, you can't kneel on their chest. You can't put your hands on their chest like this and holding them down. These are big guys coming to hold them down. If we did that, then you know the end result. That's a no-no. So I understand, and I was thinking hard because it was distressing for me when I saw that. And so I had to come out here and talk about it. I think that they should have nurses or hire mental health personnel to train the police in the academy just on that one particular how to deal with mental health patients, how to deal with mental health people, how to deal with people on a whole, how to de-escalate. Why to come in and say that's not the right thing. An example to that, when I work in the prison system, officer come to me, oh, Miss Foster, can I get something for the headache? For my head, I have an ache. I just have a migraine. I'm saying, I'm sorry, Mr. John. I'm sorry, officer. I'm sorry, Sergeant Jones. I do not medicate the staff. I'm not going to do it for you. I'm not doing it for the nurse. I'm not doing it for anybody. You got to stick with your rule. They may get upset, but I said, they go to the next nurse. She may give it to them. Fine, but that's what I'm not going to do. From day one, set the tone. They don't like that. So, and I'll give you another scenario. When I work in the jail again, the inmate come in, and I'm the nurse now. I'm going to assess this inmate. The inmate comes in. I'm like, how did you get this cut? How do you do this? I'm questioning it because I have to assess them. And some of the officer, I'm like, Officer Jones, do you want me to speak to your sergeant? Because I don't think I'm going to admit this man in the jail. Take him to the hospital and get him medically clear before he comes in here. I can make that decision. They may not like it because come off the street. They just want him coming to jail and that's it. No, when you take it, and I'm talking to you, new nurse or old nurse or whatever, you new to the jail system, you are responsible. Now you're saying that it's on you now. If he comes back and something broke or something like that, let him go back out. Let the officer know. And he might be arguing with you or not argue. We don't argue. You know what I mean. Just tell the sergeant, I'm not going to accept this. I'm not putting my signature on this. Send him out back to the hospital. Let him get medical clear, and then you can bring him back. Simple. Simple. Cover yourself at all times. So I propose that they should hire a nurse. If they not in the budget, you don't really have to use a nurse. CPI training is not nursing that is doing it. So I think that would help. It would help a lot to hire personnel trained in CPI. Job is dangerous. It's dangerous for nurses too. It's dangerous for not even psych nurse, regular nurse. We go through that all the time. But we can't lose our medical skill. We have a license to protect. If I beat them up, who's going to bail me out? So, these are all the things. So, in ending this, I know what's going on. It's distressing, global. I was listening to the news and I saw in London they were rioting. Everybody's rioting. I'm not sure if rioting is the answer. Tearing up people's houses or burning up things or doing things. I'm not sure if that is the answer. I really don't know. What I know is that the world, we are hurting. Most of us been locked up due to coronavirus, social isolation, and we want our life back. And it could play that we're just going through this. But I hope that we come together. When I talk about support nurses, and I think about that a lot. And when I went to New York, it was like, I'm a dreamer. That wasn't reality. It's been so many years trying to get us together, and the same situation is like what's going on in the world. We just have to come together at some point. I wish it was in my time. If you like this video, share, comment. Comment, get me noticed on YouTube. Let's see if YouTube share this video or allow me to let this video prosper. Have a wonderful day or night in your state or your country. Thank you.